Hi, and welcome to the Perm Show. I'm Gail Langner, and today I'm here with Chief Jason Hobie. Jason, welcome.
Thank you.
And, you know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is we have a lot of tourists coming into the area. Summer's a busy time for us, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And so a lot of different things that maybe not just the local people that are normally watching, but visitors that are in the resorts and watching right now. What are some of the things that while you're here in our beautiful city, that they need to kind of be watching out for? What kinds of things?
Well, like you said, summer is a really busy time for Perham. We have Turtle Fest going on, turtle races. Even today there's one going on right now, or starting. A lot of what we try to have people do, especially in the downtown area, is obey those crosswalks. As far as the people driving, watch out for people that are entering the crosswalks. If somebody's in the crosswalk, you are required to stop your vehicle.
Right.
You're supposed to wait until they're through the crosswalk and then you can proceed.
Okay.
And with all the foot traffic that we have in the summer, that is one of the big things that we do see a lot of, and we get a lot of complaints on vehicles not stopping.
Right.
And then also, too, if you're the pedestrian, you're supposed to use the crosswalk and not cross in the middle of the street.
Not just any old
right.
where.
State law
right.
protects you while you're in the crosswalk. If you cross somewhere else, it's up to you to wait for traffic to clear. They're not required to stop and wait for you to go. So generally most people are going to stop anyway because of the safety factor, but it is safest to use the crosswalk.
Right. And there are the, I don't want to say cones, but there
are signs out there reminding people to use or to stop for pedestrians in the crosswalk.
Right, okay, that's great. How about, I mean, even though we live in a very safe community here, would you recommend to keep your cars locked?
Yep, I always recommend, use the locks on your cars. They all have them, and they're there for a reason. I do recommend that you lock your cars anytime that you're not in it, even if it's for 5 minutes, because you never know.
Sure.
And then my other recommendation that I tell people is never leave valuables in your car, especially in plain sight. That's just,
that's asking for trouble.
There's windows in your car people can see in.
Sure.
So always remove those if you're going to leave it for an extended period of time, or even just running into a store, and then always use those locks. It takes a couple extra seconds to use your key and open the door, but it keeps your property safe.
Right, exactly. And of course, like we just said, we do have a lot of people coming into town, and so that's always good. Now I'm a big seatbelt wearer.
Yep.
Okay, I am.
And me too.
Okay. That's something that people really should be doing, right?
Right now we do have. You'll see a lot of signs around and ads on TV and radio about click it or ticket.
I saw that.
There is extra enforcement right now for seatbelt violations. Seatbelts save lives. The State Patrol puts out accident statistics every year. Our reports that we do on crashes, they go into those statistics and the usage, and then if seatbelts played a factor. So they do save lives. And it is important to wear them because of that. Again, it takes a couple seconds when you get in your vehicle, and it can make a big difference if you do get in a crash, even a low-speed one. Well,
I know that. I really feel that way. I mean, that's for certain. One last thing that I did want to talk about, and especially for those of us that live here, we know about, there are a lot of different intersections where there's no stop sign, there's no yield. What's that called?
That's an uncontrolled intersection. In Perham, there are quite a few uncontrolled intersections. We do have some yield signs, we have stop signs, but there are some that have no signs.
Right.
And in those situations, it's best to, still yield and even stop. I mean, the safest thing you can do is stop and look both ways before you proceed through the intersection.
Right.
Generally, you yield to the right, you give right away to the person on the right. That doesn't always happen. You might be slowing down and look to the left, and there's a car coming that doesn't look like they can stop. And just because you have right away, you still have a duty to avoid that collision.
Right.
And so it might be you need to stop and wait for that car.
Right. Well, I know that even right where I live, I mean, there are no signs whatsoever, and I always just stop and look and see whether or not I can go. And so that's just the best thing to do.
It's best to slow down. If there's no traffic coming, you can proceed through safely. If there's traffic coming, it's always best to wait and see what they're going to do, because you don't know what the other driver is going to do. You
exactly
only can control what you're going to do.
That's right. Right. Well, thank you, Jason, for being on the show today. I appreciate that. And we'll be right back. Well, welcome back. And now we're here with Cassie Beesman. And Cassie is a beautiful young woman that has just graduated from Perham. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I understand that you've got some really exciting things, and that is that you're going to cross-country state, right?
Yep, track actually. Track and field.
Track and field.
Yep.
Okay, not just cross-country.
Correct.
Okay, all right. When is that?
This weekend. We leave on Thursday afternoon, and then we'll practice at the Hamlin track that night, so we get used to the feeling of the track and whatnot. And then we have a couple individuals racing on Friday or competing on Friday, and then the rest of us will compete on Saturday.
Okay, how many are there of you in total?
We have 15 going total. There's 7 girls and 8 guys. We have 2 people going in the field events, and then we sent 2 relays, and then 1 individual, and 1 person is on a relay and also competing in an individual event, too.
Okay, all right. And you had qualified for this, I'm sure.
Yes, there's multiple ways to qualify. You can qualify based on time or distance, depending on if you're in field or track or running. Most of us qualified based on the spot that we placed, though. For track, you need to be in the top 2 relays or the top 2 individuals to go on.
Okay.
And as far as I know, that's how all of us moved on this year.
Okay.
But in past years, we ran the time or we've thrown the distance, jumped high enough, so it's been great.
Oh, so how long will you be there? You said it's at Hamlin, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll be competing on Saturday night in the afternoon. Double A competes in the morning, and so we start at 3:30, and then we'll be coming back late that night. So the last event's at like 7:30-ish, I would want to say.
Okay. All right. You staying there?
Yep. We're staying in the cities all
Okay.
weekend.
All right. That is so exciting. Well, I also know, just because I know you, that you also went to Australia, didn't you?
Yes. The summer after my sophomore year, I went there.
Explain how that happened and what that was like.
I got a letter in school one day, and I read through it, and it's like, you've been nominated to compete in 2 cross-country races over in Australia. Here's an informational meeting that you can go to if you want to find out more information. This is kind of what it's about and how much it's going to cost and whatnot. And I was like, well, that'd be really cool to run over there. So me and my mom went and checked it out. We went on to the informational meeting, and the guy leading it was the head track and field coach for Detroit Lakes.
Oh, okay.
And he's actually the track and field coach for this area for the United States for their company.
Oh, okay.
And so then, we realized it wasn't a scam or anything. It was legit.
Smart to check that out.
Yes.
Right.
And we just went through it, and all of a sudden I started fundraising for it. And I went there and I competed in 2 races, and I had a blast. I met a ton of people, and I came away with many medals to represent our community very well.
Oh, Cassie, that is wonderful. Can you imagine how exciting that would be to actually be able to go to Australia? And how long were you there?
11 days total.
11 days. Now, did either one of your parents go with you?
Nope, it was just me. I met up with 3 other individuals at the Fargo airport, and I was one of the oldest ones, and we traveled together the whole way. We went first to Chicago, and then we met up with the rest of our teammates in Los Angeles. And so then there was 20 of us flying with one coach that we'd never met, and we flew to Hawaii, spent 3 days there, and
then, you poor thing, I'm so sorry.
And then we flew from there to Australia, where we spent the rest of our trip.
Long flight.
Yeah, it's a big difference too. When we came home, I just remember being on Facebook at 2 in the morning, and all of us were wide awake because we were used to 15 hours difference.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I know I have a friend that lives in Hawaii, and one day I decided that maybe I would just go ahead and give her a call in the morning. Well, you don't want to call her in the morning because that's like in the middle of the night for her. But you learn that.
Yeah.
How was the weather there?
It's their winter. When I went, it was in the end of June, beginning of July, which is the Australian winter.
Oh, okay.
And so it was kind of chilly compared to what I was used to because we were just starting to warm up, and then all of a sudden I went there and it's like 60s in the morning. One race that we had was the Gold Coast Marathon, but we only ran a 5K during that, and we got out of the bus and they're like, okay, you need to get rid of your warm-ups and stuff, we need to put them in the shed. And we're like, okay, so we all stripped down and we're in a tank top and shorts and we're just huddling together because it's so
I'm sure,
cold.
shivering.
It was like 50 degrees in the morning, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
so.
That is, how interesting. That is wonderful. Well, Cassie, thanks so much for taking some time to be with me here today. Good luck at state.
Thank you.
And if you have something that you would like to see on the Perham Show, just give me a call, Gail Langner, at 841-2094. Thanks and have a great day.